All right. Welcome to the podcast, everybody. I have on the line Gord Magill. Welcome to the show, Gord.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. So you reached out to me with your interesting story, and I thought you have some points in there. I'm hoping we could touch on because I'm a fan of some of the things you've done. But tell us how you got started in trucking. Where are you now? You're actually rolling right now, right?
Yeah, I live in upstate New York now, although I'm originally from Canada. I haul gasoline, ethanol, biodiesel, basically petroleum products for a company in Syracuse, mostly around New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Massachusetts. Yeah.
Wow. Now, you've been doing this. How long you been driving? I know it's over 20 years, 25 years. How long you been in the scene?
Well, yeah, I'm 38, so I've had my CDL. I had a Class A in Ontario as soon as I turned 18. Yeah. I was driving at night around Hamilton beforehand for after school in grade 11 and grade 12. So, and, my family's been in the business since my grandfather came home from the war. So, yeah, multiple generations of the family and myself have been around trucks my whole life.
Yeah, and they seem to get longer and longer.
Well, yeah, I mean, in some places, sure, yeah. I've made it my business to try and take it overseas and see if I can fly my trade in as many places as possible. Sure.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that because that's an interesting story. But you have one. I was reading the story that you sent me, and you have one about hauling for the rock band Kiss. Now, I'm a big Kiss fan, always have been, so I'm really interested in this story. So tell us what it's like, because a lot of us, that's our fantasy to haul for these big rock bands and shows. And tell us that experience, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, that one kind of fell in my lap just through pure luck and a family connection. But yeah, I hauled T-shirts for Kiss on their 2000 farewell tour. From about April till August of that year.
Right.
And I covered, I think, 38 states and Ontario and Quebec on that one. And yeah, it was an interesting gig. Their T-shirts are manufactured at a place in Buffalo. Well, the T-shirts come from South Carolina, and then the printing plant's just outside Buffalo, New York.
Right.
And I loaded up with a full trailer load to start the tour. First show, I think, was in Arizona. And then as we ran low on shirts, I would go to airports or like freight places like Old Dominion or FedEx yards and like reload with extra boxes of T-shirts as the tour went on. And I kind of went all over the place. And I ran in sometimes in convoy with there's a company in Chicago called Upstaging, and they're like one of the premier rock tour trucking companies. So I was following around 10 upstaging trucks with my uncle's truck, and his company was based in Oakville for a while.
Wow. So what happens when you get there? So you're trucking there, and these concerts are all done. You're there maybe 2 nights, 3 nights, whatever. So when you're there, are you selling the T-shirts? That's what I hear that all these guys are doing when they're actually at the concert and you're just sitting there. Do you work, or what do you do for 2 or 3 days while they're on stage there?
Okay, so the schedule could be fairly tight where you do shows every night. Some shows could be 200 miles away, some 400 or 500, but they tried not to get over 500 just because of the logistics.
Yeah.
But like I would show up at whatever venue, whether it was like a basketball stadium or a arena or an outdoor amphitheater, and there would be a spot where I would bring the trailer in and we would unload X number of boxes of T-shirts and trinkets and magazines and all the other crap they sell at shows.
Yeah.
And I had 2 merch guys I worked with, this fellow named John Spink and another guy named Spiro Papadakis, who was from London, Ontario, actually. And they were kind of like the liaison between the merchandising company and the band, and they were in charge of all that. And I would just help them load and unload the truck, but each venue would sell it, so they would have their own people for sales.
Oh, okay.
So I would just load and unload, and then like hang out or go to sleep or whatever the case may be, show to show.
Okay, all right. Did you meet any of the guys? Did you get a chance to meet the guys in the band?
Yeah, I met Gene Simmons. I met Paul Stanley briefly. I mean, you'd see people backstage. I had a laminate. I had a backstage pass. All the people on the crew did. All the bus drivers, the truck drivers, all the roadies. The guitar techs, the makeup people. But I mean, the guys in the band would sort of fly into most of the shows. They had their own jet. The opening act, Skid Row, had their bus. They traveled with us, so I got to hang out with them a lot. They're actually really nice guys.
Right.
Ted Nugent was also on that tour, and I think the most interesting story was about, I guess, a quarter of the way through the tour. We were in Michigan, and we had a day off between Grand Rapids and Toledo, Ohio, and Ted's home is in a place called Concord, Ohio, which is sort of west of Jackson a little bit, or
Right.
Jackson County.
Yeah.
And so we went to his ranch, and he had a big barbecue for us, and he had like clay pigeon shooting clay rabbits, clay pigeons, and shotguns, and he had like a rifle range, so we got to shoot like AR-15s and shoot up old bowling pins that you would get from bowling alleys.
Wow.
And he had some friend who's a chef who specializes in game meat, so we had like 10 different kinds of game meat barbecue spread he put on to say thanks to the crew.
Wow.
So I got to meet Ted. I got to meet Ted Nugent and hang out at his ranch and play with guns. That was fucking awesome.
Very nice, very nice. So, I mean, right there, you've got a ton of interest, right? So you've done everything, but you've also ended up in Australia. So tell us how you got to Australia, because the article I've read here, and I don't know what. It's 2015 is when this girl, lady Sarah Laskow, did an article on you. Tell us how you ended up in Australia and how what it was like over there.